Hey guys, how you going? Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, and today I want to talk to you about fat and how much we have such a scarcity towards fat. It's Janelle here from JanelleEmma.com, and I hope today I can give you some really good information on why we need fat in our diet, why it is so important to us. You think to yourself, are you scared of eating fat? Foods that have fat in them, butter, full cream milk, avocados, nuts, that sort of stuff. They're really high in fat, and most of us these days are scared to eat fat. We've had this scarcity put into us from the marketing gurus, from supermarkets, from advertisements, things like that out there, that fat is bad for us, and it's not the case. Eating fat will actually make you skinny. Now, if you can believe that, I hope you can believe that, but if you can believe that, you will know how important it is that we need fat in our diet, especially for brain health and cellular health, and why we should be reintroducing that into our diets. It's something that we need to have every single day. And so, you think about the supermarkets, how everything says low fat or light or low calorie, that sort of stuff. A lot of that has had the fat stripped out of it because we've got this scarcity now that we shouldn't be eating fat. And then what happens? They add sugar to it, they add additives to it and preservatives to it and all sorts of horrible chemicalized things to make up the flavors and the same sort of quantity as what was with fat in it. So this is something we need to steer away from. We need to be making sure we are eating fat, and we need to be making sure that we're having the knowledge on the right fats that we should be eating every single day. So there was a study, I'm going to read this to you, but there was a study that was conducted by the National Institute of Health that actually said that those who ate more fat compared to an identical amount of carbs burned over 100 more calories in a day. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that you don't do any extra exercise? You can be sitting on the couch all day. You could be doing exactly the same work or exercise that you're doing, but you burn an extra 100 calories a day from eating more fat than carbs. I think that's amazing. I think it's exciting because it means that, we can go back to eating our fats and realize what they're doing to our body. I'm going to go into a bit more of that. Over a year, the amount of, that amounts to 5 kilos or 10 pounds of weight loss without doing any extra exercise. So those who ate more fat compared to carbs burned off 100 extra calories within a day, and over a year lost an extra 5 kilos. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool anyway. You don't have to do any extra exercise. You've just got to eat more fat and you will watch the weight drop off you. Now, this is true. You can go and look this up. There's many amazing websites that you can look up about, fat and why it's so good for us. Dr. Hyman, Dr. Axe, that sort of thing, they are amazing at explaining this to us and at explaining to it why it's great for our metabolism and our cellular structure and all that sort of stuff. So the study also showed that eating more fat shuts off hunger and the craving center in the brain. So our brain is what's telling our body that we're hungry. Our brain is what tells our metabolism to be fast or slow, when it needs to protect itself or when it needs to speed up. So you think about, if you're feeding your brain more fat, omega-3s and all those amazing, fats in different foods that we can have, then you're telling your brain center, the hunger craving center in your brain, that you're not hungry. And I learned this from a naturopath as well. If you eat fat with every single meal that you're having, make sure you're having high protein and then some sort of fat with everything that you eat, whether it's a snack or a meal, you won't feel hungry. Your body's not going to tell you that you're hungry. And the reason for that is because it's telling the brain that, I'm being fed the right stuff. I've got the right nutrients that I need for the body to function properly. So I'm not going to go out there and scream at everyone that I'm hungry or that I, need to eat extra food in the day. And the brain is what matters the most. It controls your food intake. It tells your body what you need. It's your taste bud preference. Even for your metabolism, it tells you how fast or slow your metabolism needs to go. So why is that so different? Why is it that fat is so good for us and carbs are so bad for us? Let's have a look at that. So, if you get sugar cravings and carb cravings and you're eating a lot of sugar and carbs, it actually makes your body think that you're hungry. The reason for that is that spikes that insulin. So by spiking your insulin, your body goes into that, that crazy mode of, oh my God, I need to go and do something for myself to protect it. So, with sugars and with carbs, I'm not talking about all carbs, I'm talking about the bad carbs. We know that we need fruits and veggies, which are our carbs as well. They're our carbs that we do need. But all those bad carbs that you get, packaged foods, breads and rices and cereals and that sort of stuff, those really bad carbs and the ones that are full of sugar, they're telling our bodies that we need more food. They're spiking that insulin and making our bodies think that we need more than what we need. And it's tricking your brain into thinking that you need extra nutrition within the day when really you don't. So if you replace those carbs with fat, you're going to be telling your brain that you're not hungry, that you don't need extra food. You're going to be telling your brain that I feel okay and that, what you've just fed me is going to last me and sustain in my body for a few hours at a time. And this is that if you're having those carbs and those sugars all the time, that's what creates that vicious cycle of less energy, more hunger. You get more hungry because you're spiking that insulin and causing it to go into those crazy hormonal modes, which we definitely don't want, but it happens all the time. And so by doing that, you're telling your body, your body's telling your brain that you're really, really hungry, that you've got these sort of cravings coming on, that you want more sugar. It creates that addiction to sugar and carbs. And then, that's what then stores even more fat. So we don't want that. So fat will actually make you skinny. Just remember that. Remember when you're going to the supermarket and you're buying things, remember that you need to be adding more fats to your meals and snacks, and everything that you eat should have some sort of fat alongside it or in it. There was another human study, human experiment, which I love these sorts of ones because they are done on humans and not in laboratories. And that was those who ate high-fat diets had a much faster metabolism. So this is what it means, like, you eat more fats, you will burn more fat, and in turn you don't have to actually exercise more to do that. Now, I'm not saying don't exercise. We know that exercise is amazing. We know that we need that for our heart health and our joints and lungs and that sort of stuff. But we also know that, you don't need to be exerting yourself massively and then filling yourself with carbs after or before you've done that. That's going to cause so many problems in the body, a lot of cellular damage, a lot of insulin spikes and telling the brain the wrong things. So, how awesome is it that you can eat more fat and, lose weight? That's been happening to me with my naturopath. She's been monitoring me on that by adding more fat into my diet, and then watching what happens to my weight without me exercising any extra. And, she can see that when she does these tests on me, the cells, what they are doing. She can see what it's doing with, the fact that I'm losing weight and gaining muscle, and how awesome is that? Because I'm not exercising any extra. So this sort of thing is really interesting to me. And I find it's something that I do want to try and promote or tell other people about. Make sure that you're putting more fat into your diet. It's very important for us. You think about the outer layers of our bodies or our cells before we get to our skin. That's like we have a fat layer, and if we don't have that fat layer being fed the right nutrients, we're going to just shrivel up like little prunes. We're going to be all wrinkly and shriveled up on the inside because we're not giving it fat. And, the rest of our body is mostly made up of water. So if you've got less fat surrounding the outside of your body before the skin, and then you've got all this water running around, we could pretty much be a puddle on the floor if we got rid of all the fat in our diet, because we don't have that fat there, to store and to hold ourselves together, I suppose you say, the cellular side of things. So I think that this is, very important for us to understand all of this, just in a less scientific way, but to understand why we need it. Faster metabolism, better for the brain, absolutely massive for brain health. Can help you lose weight without doing any extra exercise. Don't you think that's awesome? I definitely do. And I just think it's great, for weight control, metabolism, like I said, and brain health. It's just, if you can help yourself out and be more proactive on that, just by doing that, by adding more fat to your diet, why not do it? Why not look at the sort of fats you can put into your diet extra, in every meal, in every snack, and make sure that you're doing that every single day, and watch the weight drop off. Watch how much better you feel. Watch how much better your skin and hair is. And the thing that excites me the most is, You know, this is the biology of the fat cells. It's controlled by the quality of the food that we eat and the type of food. So this is why we want, you know, locally organic grown food. We want things that are very high in fruits and veggies and antioxidants. And then obviously adding that fat in. You know, we want those types of foods to tell our brain how our body should be functioning properly, how it should be losing weight properly or storing fat properly in the right way without carbs and sugar tricking our brain into thinking we've got to store that and store it every time, and then putting this weight on, especially around that belly fat, you know, the visceral fat, which is really dangerous. You know, that sort of fat is what, you know, creates organ problems. It creates our belly problems, muffin top, you know, and that really horrible belly fat that we get, that's from carbs and sugars. You know, if you look at your diet and change those sorts of things and drop out the carbs and sugars, eat more fat, you don't need to go to see someone to do that. You don't need help on that. You can just do that for yourself. And I find that, you know, reach out to me if you want me to show you a bit more on what type of things can really help with that, what type of foods can really help with that. But here are some here. Here's some of my favorite, you know, higher fat foods that you can add into your diet, into your day. So avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts, seeds and eggs, and obviously fish, you know, salmon and tuna and sardines and that sort of stuff. So they are all high in fats, great for the brain, omega-3s, and we should be having these every single day in our diet. So I hope you all got value from that. Why not share this with someone that you know that's struggling with their weight, struggling to get their weight off, and, you know, tell them that fat is okay. Tell them to have a big knob of butter with their steak or something. You know, tell them to go and have a big handful of nuts for morning tea, or, you know, put a bit of extra avocado on the side of their plate with their chicken and that sort of stuff. So I hope you all got value, and I'll talk to you all on the next Wellness Wednesday video. See ya.